like that. But
Yeah.
you know who I'm kind of frustrated with this player. Um, because I think about 5 years ago, he would have been the bet to be like, oh yeah, he's gonna be the guy to drop 100. Because it's too easy for him. It's too easy for him to get buckets and score and do his thing. Talking about Kevin Durant, man. Why? What's wrong with Kevin Durant, man? Not too long ago, he was saying how why isn't he talked about in the GOAT discussion? And I think this is part of why. Because I feel like he's one of the few players who hasn't lived up to his potential. It's like, man, you could have been and done so much more, but you've been capped and you haven't done as much. But that's just like a part of what I think, man. What's going on, KD, man? Like, why do you think he's not talked about as much in the GOAT discussion?
I mean, the answer's simple. You hadn't done enough. That's all I can say. You hadn't done enough. And see, it's easy to say, what haven't I done? Because that's a blanket statement. Oh, championships, MVPs, first team All Pros. You know what I mean? It's easy to say that. Points, records, whatever. He has those things. But how many do you have? Because the guys in the GOAT conversation got more than what you got. So it's easy to be like that, because that's what he said. What haven't I done? Why am I not in the discussion? What haven't I done? Not enough. You haven't done enough. And like, I hate to get into these comparisons, because it's like, when you get to talking about stuff like this, it's like, I can't say he's not in the GOAT debate without hating. That's how it seems. Because like now people be like, oh, you just hating on KD, or you just loving the other guy. You know what I'm saying? But I got this is my truthful opinion. Like, he has not done enough. Okay, what haven't you done? All right, you got championships. How many you got? 2. Cool. 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs. The guys in the GOAT debate all got at least 4. At least 4. We talking about Bron. We talking about Kareem. We talking about Jordan. Some people say Kobe. They all got at least 4. You only got 2. Not that 2 ain't great, but the other guys got at least 4. So then what else? What haven't I done? You got an MVP. 1. You got 1 MVP. The other guys, they all got at least 4. Bron got 4. Mike got 5. Kareem got 6. That's tough. It's hard to put you in the same combo with them guys. Oh, what about scoring? Bron number 1. Kareem number 2. Was number 1 for a long time. Mike number 4. Because Kobe 3rd, I want to say. So I think Mike 4th or 5th. KD just cracked number 10 as we recording this. He just cracked number 10 a couple days ago. And 10 is great. He probably going to end somewhere between 10 and 6. He not passing none of them guys. In my opinion, I don't believe he going to pass none of them guys. He'd be missing too many games. He already 35 years old or 34 years old, one off. I don't think he can crack in top 5. But the other guys in the top 5. And what else you want to say? Oh, first team all NBAs, they all got more than you. All stars, they all got more than you. Like, there's nothing you could bring up to compare to them guys other than saying, oh, I've done the things that they did. You have. You done won MVP, you done won championships, you'd have been first teams, you'd have been the best players. Like, KD was definitively the second best player in the league to only LeBron for probably like 10 years. Ever since OKC went to the finals in 2014.
2012.
No, dang, I see this how like fast time be flying. 2012, because it was right after the Dallas series. 2012 when KD and them went to the finals. Ever since that year, KD probably been the second best player in the league in most people's eyes. 2 only LeBron, and that probably lasted for like 10 years. Some people say he still top 5. So you've been a great player, obviously. It ain't like we don't think you're great. But when you get to talking about the GOAT debate, now we comparing you to people that ain't playing no more. We comparing you to GOATs. And you ain't did what they've done, unfortunately. love you, KD. I love you.
Yeah.
Your game is amazing. I love you. But I'm sorry. You going to the hall though. Had that debate. We talked about that. You going to the hall for sure though.
I think KD's an interesting case because along the lines of what you were saying, he just hasn't done enough. And like the one thing I think about with him that's kind of missing is the I'm him, for lack of better words. Like he doesn't have that moment where it's like Kevin Durant is the man. No ifs, ands, or buts. LeBron has been the man for a long time. Kobe had a run where he was like, oh, he's ain't nobody touching him. Before that, Jordan is Jordan. So everybody else had a period where it was like, that's the guy. Right now, no one's doing what this man is doing. James Harden had a stint where he was like, oh, James Harden, is he the best player? Like, what's he doing over there in Houston? But he had a stint in Oklahoma City, but that's more of young KD. So after that, where did KD have a stint? We were just like, oh, Kevin Durant is hands down above and beyond number one right now. He had pockets where he was in that phase, but then he got hurt. And he had pockets where he in this phase, but it was the Golden State blanket covering him. So when he was in Golden State, it wasn't above and beyond Kevin Durant dominating. And I get that Kevin Durant views the game differently. He doesn't view it as objectively as we do. He's like an artist. He views it in colors and like the different ways he views things. So for him, beautiful basketball is GOAT debate. And it's like, bro, I'm 7 foot. I'm doing this. I can do that. Player for player, if we're talking about just 2K stats or like if we're playground pickup, KD's top 4. Like, there ain't too many people you gonna pick up for Kevin Durant. Like, if you're talking about playground, he's number 1. Like, a 7 foot that can do everything and anything, he's number 1. But at the exact same time, that's why he's not number 1. Because how can you do anything and everything without that level of dominance too? Like, why haven't you done more with what you do have? Like, how are you this unstoppable and you're not in the talks of 100 points? How are you this unstoppable but you don't have more records? How are you this unstoppable but you haven't done more? Like, why aren't you top 5 in all time points in the game? Why aren't you more prolific in like why aren't you higher level? Why aren't you higher caliber? Because he views the game as art, and artists don't kind of have that level of like just like Kobe didn't give any care about art. I want to murder you. I want to win this game and let you know you're dead. So if that's an ugly 50 or an ugly 81, so be it. The KD, he's more of a feel and flow of the game. He don't get me wrong, he does have a killer to him. Don't get me wrong, he definitely has like that level of like, I'm coming for you next type energy. But he doesn't sustain it long enough to where, oh man, let me not mess with KD. Like LeBron has stint with us like, LeBron James, y'all take that matchup. KD's gonna be like, you know it's gonna be a tough night because he's gonna get what he wants. But because that's the mindset, why hasn't he done more? I think that's part of it too. Like, yes, the records and everything he doesn't have. Yes, the scoring stats he doesn't have. But it's a level that the feeling of number 1. He just never carried that long. He either didn't have it or he had it, but it didn't hold long enough for us to like really stamp him as being GOAT talk. So I think that's the issue kind of comes in with KD because we have the narrative of him being in these conversations, but it's too short lived, or he's not in there more often enough. Because when's the last time KD was just dominant? He had a stint in OKC, not OKC, in Brooklyn. He was on the potential to be there. MVP caliber year, got hurt, missed games, took the momentum away. Before that, Golden State, where he was cool. He wasn't dominating, but he was cool, doing his thing. Then it was OKC years. So I think that's kind of hurting him. He doesn't have that level of dominance and that prolific just stamp. This is Kevin Durant time. I don't think he had those moments. So that's hurt him when it comes to the GOAT talk. Hey, hold on. Time out real quick. We're going to get back to the episode. I know you're enjoying it. I know you're enjoying the show. But I need you to help me real quick and to make sure that this episode can grow, make sure this podcast, the show can grow overall, and you can keep getting great guests like this. Make sure that you subscribe and follow along. So if you watch right now on YouTube, help me out by hitting the subscribe button. Go ahead and do it real quick. If you're listening in your car, chill out for a second. If you're on Apple or on Spotify, just like when you get a moment, hit the follow button, but not right now while you're driving. If you're working out or something, or you chilling in your room, then go ahead and subscribe with me. Like, help me help you, okay? But thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. I'm gonna stop interrupting so you get back to the episode. Thank you.
Let me tell you something. There was 2 moments I could think of where KD could have almost been like the I'm him moments that you talk about. There's 2 that really come to mind for me. The first one was the press conference after they lost to the Clippers in game 1 of the first round of the playoffs when he was still in Golden State. And they was talking about Pat Bell locked him up, right? And then he was in the press conference like, I'm trying to play the game. Like, I'm not gonna mess up the floor of the offense to play one-on-one with Pat Bell. Like, I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. We all remember that you know who I am. And then the next game he had 40 in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So he let us know who you were. He reminded us. And then they ain't lose another game the rest of the playoffs. So people remember that, but obviously he was playing for the Warriors, and you know how it is with that. So folks ain't taking but that was a big deal though for some people. Like, oh, KD said, you know who I am, came out the next game and showed us 40 piece. So that was one. I give him that one. Number 2, he was almost him when he played the Milwaukee Bucks the year the Bucks won the championship. Almost beat the Bucks single-handedly. And I'm a Giannis guy. And boy, I tell you, I was scared. Giannis is my favorite player. I was scared. Because this man was giving PJ Tucker buckets. He was giving this man and then I'm talking about buckets like PJ wasn't doing nothing but being physical with this man. Because PJ Tucker like my KD's 7 foot. And PJ was roughing him up, being physical. He's strong, but he ain't gonna be able to contest that jumper. Once he get up in the air and shoot, it's over. It's just like, dang, I hope he missed. So all PJ was doing was trying to make it tough on him before he take any shot. He giving this man 40 every time. Every time. And then he shot that game winner. So I think that was gonna win game 6 for them. Something, I can't remember exactly what the series was at the time, but bruh foot was on the line. And they end up going to overtime instead of that being a win. They go to overtime, KD gassed. You could tell he gassed. And the Bucks end up winning. And I was happy. I was elated. Because I'm like, dang, boy, he almost got us. Single-handedly, because Kyrie went playing, and James had a hamstring injury, but he was out there, but he wasn't James. You know what I mean? You could tell he wasn't himself. He wasn't trying to score. He wasn't being aggressive, none of that. He was just out there. KD almost did that jump by himself and would have finished it if his foot went so long. That foot was on that line, boy. Save the Bucks save Giannis, save the Bucks whole season because they end up winning it all. And that's how some of that stuff kind of just meant to be. Because like the Bucks end up winning it all. They would have lost that series if it wasn't for that. And they end up winning it all. And I just be looking like, damn, boy. If he would have did that one and then got the Nets to the finals, because I don't know, that wasn't Eastern Conference Finals. I think that was the second round.
Yeah, second round.
Yeah, I think that was the second round. And I'm trying to think who the Bucks played in the next round to go to the finals.
It might have been us, the Celtics.
It might have been. I can't remember right now, but it might have been. Either way, I think if they would have beat the Bucks, they would have had a good chance to go to the finals. Obviously, because the Bucks went to the finals and won. So if they would have won that series, I'm pretty sure they would have got to the finals. I don't know if they would have beat Phoenix, but they was looking good. Yeah. That was almost his moment. If he could have pulled that one off, because that was a LeBron-esque carry. When we think about carrying a team, obviously we think of LeBron first. Because LeBron had the biggest carry job you can have. Second, I mean, like some people might say Allen Iverson when he took the Sixers to the finals. But when we think about carrying a team, we think about Bron and them Cavs teams. that was going to be equivalent to that. So he could have somehow carried them to the finals and won, and they win the championship. Oh yeah, that championship was going to mean more than both them championships in Golden State. Like both of them, like
Yeah.
it would have been crazy. So, but it just ain't happened. Sometimes it just don't happen like that. So, sorry, KD. Hey, you didn't do enough.
Yeah, I just I like him too, man. Like I wish he would have that. And like his career high is 55. I think his second scoring was 54. I just looked it up. Hold on. So his career high is 55. His next high is 54, then 53, 52, 51, 51, 51, 51. And this man scored everything from 50 to 55. And he scored 51 three times. No line. Four. So he scored 50, 51 games, 52, 53, 54, and 55. And this man had everything below 40. 49, all the way to 45, 44, 44. Like, bro, he scored everything he probably scored everything from 40 to 55. That's what this man has done. So I think when you average him out, great score, right? But he just need that next tier moment to like put up 75, put up 84. Like you need he needs to have one clear moment where it's like Kevin Durant, the man. He needs to have a stretch where Kevin Durant is the guy running the league right now. Every other GOAT had the conversation where it's like, it's Michael Jordan's league. Yeah, this is LeBron's league. It's Kobe's league. We know who it is. Shaq, best big, hands down. No ifs, ands, or buts. Even quiet as kept Tim Duncan. Oh, ain't nobody touching Timmy. Best power forward all time. What is Kevin Durant the best of? I think that's the issue. We can't stamp him as the best. On paper, the best scorer, but you don't have he's not going to have the all-time scoring record. He's not going to have the highest point score in the game. He's not going to have the highest average because I think Wilt or Jordan has that. So what points to him being the best scorer all time objectively? You can't point to anything to say numbers-wise that this is the best. Now, of course, we can go subjective and say 7-footer can do everything. He should be the best, but he should have done more. So he gets too into like the love of the game. And like, man, I ain't finna do that mess of the flow of the offense. Man, forget the offense. You are the offense, bro. I love that. Like Steph and Clay would be okay. Go off for 70. Like, it's those moments. I think that's what hurts him too much. He's too in love with the flow of the game and too in love with the rules of basketball of like that level of play that he won't let himself break the rules of the game when he is the player he's allowed to bend and break the rules. He's that caliber of player. It's not a role player saying, I know I'm cooking right now, but I'm gonna pass the ball to KD. Like this ain't campaign, having a good night, 30-point game, but KD get the game winner. No, KD, you are the game. You are the game winner, bro. Like that's the thing about him. So he just doesn't have enough of those. He doesn't separate himself enough. He doesn't separate himself. That's the thing. So he's great, love him, but he's too close to. It's like it's GOAT tier, Kevin Durant, and then greats. He's too close to the greats to not be in that tier of GOATs. I think that's what kind of hurts him. So, man, I love KD, but it's just that's why I feel like we don't put him in the GOAT conversation enough.
Yeah, we not. Hey, Nick Wright got Nick Wright on Fox Sports. He had a great rant about Kevin Durant. He said Kevin Durant may be the unluckiest superstar ever. And I'll tell you why. He said, Kevin Durant has been number 2 his entire career. And I feel like that's so, it's sad to say that, but it's real because he was the second pick in the draft to who? Greg Oden, who obviously was him in college, and we thought it was going to be him in the league. He ain't paying out, obviously, because of injury. Second pick in the draft. He comes in the league. He hoops. He gets good. He gets better, Gets his team to the finals. Loses to who? LeBron James. He wins MVP, though. He was MVP. Loses to LeBron James. What happens then? Oh, it's a consensus. He's the second best player in the league to LeBron James for maybe 10 years. And then what happens? As LeBron finally starts declining, folks start saying Kevin Durant the best player in the world. But you still got people saying it's still LeBron. It's a debate now. But people starting to say KD the best player in the world. Then what happens? Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Milwaukee Bucks. He almost beat him. Foot was on the line. Tough. The Bucks go on to win championship. What we say then? Oh, Giannis, best player in the league. Hands down. Ever since that year, he hasn't been healthy enough for us to be like, oh, well, Kevin Durant, the best player in the league. He's been so in and out. He's been so hurt. It's hard to be like, oh, well, KD's still the best player in the league. We don't see him enough. So now it's like, we going with Giannis. Giannis is available. He don't miss a whole lot of games, and they just won a championship. And he got 2 MVPs. He got a Defensive Player of the Year. We going with Giannis. KD number 2 again. Some people number 3. Some people still putting Bron above him. And I ain't saying that's wrong. It's a personal preference. And now we to the point where it's too late for him. It's pretty much over in terms of us being like, oh, KD the best player in the league. Because now who we looking at? Joker, Embiid, Luka, Jason Tatum, Shea Gill. We looking at all them guys like they the best players in the league now. KD ain't even an all-star starter. And he shouldn't be. Not this season, he shouldn't be. He going to be an all-star, though, but he ain't a starter. It's just tough, man. That's the way it shook out for him. And so with that on your resume, we can't say you the best. We can't put you in the GOAT debate. You was not even the best in the league for majority of your career. How you going to be the GOAT? And with that same logic, this is the same logic I used against Kobe a while back that people got on me for when I said Kobe probably shouldn't be in the GOAT debate. Because I said Kobe was not the best player in the league for the majority of his career. So, of course, with me, I can't put you in there. You haven't even done what Kobe did. So, it's over with. I'm sorry. Love KD, though. All respect to KD, easy money sniper. You know what I'm saying? He was a big inspiration to me in my career. Made me feel like I can shoot. So, I appreciate it. But GOAT debate, I'm sorry. Can't do
it. Yeah, it's tough, man, because I'm a fan of KD. When KD was book bag at press conference, KD, when he had the best shoe in the league for a good 3-4 years, when KD could do no wrong, that KD, everybody fell in love with him. I remember that KD. I'm a fan. I'm still a fan. But this is like me taking off my fan hat a little bit, still fan hat on because I wish he could have did more. But it's just not enough when we talking about the greats. So, and I think I don't know if Nick said this or not, but he was considered to be number 2 in Golden State. So yeah, you won, but you were the second best player on that team. So that's tough for KD. That's tough, but I rock with him. Hope he can finally get healthy and stay healthy because that's been the issue for him, man. So I don't know, man. I just feel like KD could really do some real, like if KD would have been healthy, he would have did some real damage. Which made me think about something, man. Which team was tougher, the 01 Sixers or the 07 Cavs? Like which one was like you remove AI, you remove LeBron? Which team? So you said that KD had that carriage out versus the Bucks. And his only comparison would have been LeBron with the Cavs years and AI with the Sixers years. So if you remove AI from the 01 Sixers in that finals team, and you remove LeBron from the 07 team from the Cavs when they played the Spurs, which team was worse without their player? Like which team was like LeBron carried his team, he had more weight to carry than AI did? Which team you think was the tougher challenge?
Well, if we gonna do that, first thing you gotta look at who is both teams' second best player. So second best player for
I
the
think Big Z.
second best player for the Cavs probably definitely is Julius Ilgauskas. I want to say he made an All Star team at 1 year.
I think so. Yeah.
So you talking about the Jonas Ilgauskas, and maybe between
Larry Hughes. I think he was on that team.
Larry Hughes and maybe Anderson Varejao. Anderson Varejao was pretty good back in the day, but he wasn't
Nah,
amazing.
I ain't putting Andy over. I ain't putting him over Larry Hughes. Nah, I can't do that.
Yeah, all right, Larry Hughes. So you talking about Big Z and Larry Hughes, his next best players. Now you take AI out the Sixers. You
Mm-hmm.
talking about his next best players being. I did not know Tony Kukoc was on that team. What the crap? What? He must have been hurt or something. I do not remember that boy playing.
All right. Okay. Another timeout. Okay. Look, if you got to this point, you have to be enjoying the episode. Like you have to. At this point in the episode, you're enjoying it. So help me help you. Just if you're on Apple right now and you're on your phone, okay, just take your phone, press the subscribe button. It's right there. Just do that with me. Even if on your laptop, take your mouse, boom, click over, boom, do your thing. Now you subscribe. Now you linked in because you don't want to miss the next great episode that I have. But doing stuff like this helps the episode grow, makes the show grow, and the podcast grow so I can keep getting great guests and keep doing great interviews. So if you listen on Apple or Spotify, take a second, look at your phone, press the follow button, okay? And share with a friend or two because you'll find the value in this. You want to have this conversation with your friends so they can have the same value. Now the whole basketball community can grow. All right. Thanks for listening so far. I'm gonna get out your way. Let's get back to the episode. Appreciate
But you take AI off that team, you got they used to have Theo Riley, but
you.
then
No
they traded him
Matumbo's on
for
there.
Mutombo. Yeah. So Mutombo was on
Mm-hmm.
the finals team. So you got Mutombo. Najee Muhammad.
I think the
Oh
next
my
best
god.
might have been Eric
Eric Snow.
Snow. Either Eric Snow or Kevin Ollie because they're to PG.
Yeah, it probably was Eric Snow. They came in with something about Eric Snow. Ah, that's tough. I ain't gonna lie,
Whichever
that's
one was
tough.
starting PG, that's probably the next best. That's tough. This
Yeah,
is looking real rough,
I think
man.
I gotta. Yeah, I think I gotta go with Okay, yeah, Tony Kukoc wasn't on their team when they was in the finals. That's why I don't remember him. Okay, so in the finals they had Mutombo, Eric Snow, Aaron McKee, Rashad Bell. Let's
Okay,
see.
I,
Okay,
I think I got my
Dikembe
answer.
second in
I think I
points.
got my answer.
Okay, go ahead.
I think AI had the better team because he had the more recognizable Robin. So in 10 years, because like we're too in the moment for LeBron's Cavs teams, right? So in 10 years, you ask some kid who like they were a kid in '07 and they get to our age or somewhere, older. It's like, man, you remember the '07 team? We like, yeah, kinda. LeBron, everybody else is like, I don't really like no history doesn't favor any of these guys well as far as knowing who the heck they are. Like none of them. Like you might remember Shannon Brown a little bit for his dunks, but nobody gonna know who Big Z is. Like he's not as recognizable. Nothing close to the Dikembe Mutombo. So it's if I had to rank them, like take off AI and LeBron, of course. If I had to rank them, we're gonna go Dikembe Mutombo 1, and then Big Z probably number 2. So because Dikembe was Defensive Player of the Year and he had that level of connection, I think that's where he sits when we're talking about that.
Yeah. I'm looking at this Cavs team now. I'm looking at the finals stats. LeBron averaged 22, 7, and 6. The next best player was Drew Gooden, averaging 12 and 8. Daniel Gibson averaging 10. So Big Z averaged 7 and 10. So he averaged 10 rebounds. Nobody was scoring. Nobody was scoring.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I look at the Sixers. AI averaged 35. Dikembe Mutombo averaged 16 and 12, and Eric Snow averaged 12. So it was a lot. Like you said, it was a lot more. Like you could see who the second best player was. It was Dikembe Mutombo.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that Sixers team was better, which is crazy to say because I've always thought that probably was the worst team that ever been to the finals. If we ever ranked the worst teams to go to the finals, these two teams up there.
Yeah, they fighting for number one spot in a fight they don't want to be number one.
Facts. It's tough though. AI gave these boy 48 game 1, 35 game 3, 35 game 4, 37 game 5. It's tough, man. It's tough. So you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say the Sixers had the better team because they stole a game off the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. In a year, that was the only loss they took the whole playoffs. They swept everybody else. AI gave them 48 and put Sixers over the top to steal one game off of them. That's a big feat considering nobody else got a game. So they stole the game off them, and nobody else did. Bron and them got to the finals and got swept by the Spurs. And it's pretty arguable that the Shaq and Kobe Lakers was better than the Spurs. Like, the Spurs obviously had a great team, but that 07 Spurs, I think I'd take Shaq and Kobe in them.
I think that year was the most dominant. That's one of the most dominant years of all time. Like, that's one of the best years. But like, when we talking about teams that had the best seasons,
The Spurs,
they're
the
up there. Lakers.
Okay.
Because you got the two most dominant 1-2 punch force to exist at that time. You can argue Steph and KD, you can argue Bron and D-Wade at that point. But at that time, the most dominant 1-2 punch to touch basketball. On top of the run they had that year, and that was Shaq's MVP year, I believe, was 01. So you going against the league MVP, a young dog just starting getting turned up for it. That's his fourth, fifth year in the league. Kobe was, I believe. So you going against that, one of the greatest seasons of all time, and you want to go just postseason. Like you said, they only had one loss, and that came to them. Spurs, now you could argue it was a tougher challenge or whatever. Both of them in the West, both of them were tough. I'm pretty sure the Lakers had to beat the Spurs to get to the finals. So, whatever. So, I think the Lakers probably were the better foe to go against. And the fact that AI snuck a game from him was like, ooh, okay. That said something. So, I think that kind of works against AI in that sense of having the worst team. Because LeBron had to carry more with less.
And Bron was younger, too. Bron was only in his fourth year in the league.
Same thing for AI. He was drafting like 96, 97.
And that was 2000.
Him and Kobe came out the same year.
That ain't sure
That's like his fifth year.
But, yeah. Let me see what year this 01.
Because Bron drafted 03. He went in 07. So that's year 5 or 4, depending on how you count the season. And then AI was in 96 because that's him, Kobe, Nash, Ray, all them. That's all the year.
So, yeah, this is year 5.
Finals on 01.
Yeah.
So,
even. Bron just was 19.
But,
I mean, yeah, when he came in. All the difference.
Yeah, I just say that's the only difference. So, what AI? How long does AI stay in college?
I think he was only there a year.
That's what I'm thinking.
I can make sure. Allen Iverson, Georgetown, RIP coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was a year if my memory serves me.
Hey, what a... Why put in Allen Iverson, Georgetown stats, and they still putting up the NBA? He was there 2 years, so he wasn't one and done. He was there 2 years.
All right, cool. So he had 2 years on Brian at that point. So I don't know, man. I think that's a good debate, though.
Yeah.
I think it's a good debate though. Who had the bigger carrier job? Like who did more with less? So I don't know,
The
man. It's
bigger
pretty tough.
question is we need to have a debate or rank the worst teams to make the NBA finals. Might have to cut it off in like the last 20 years because I ain't trying to go back that far. But in the last 20
Yeah.
years, it's been a couple teams that was like, they get here.
Mm-hmm.
So these two will be at the top.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to have that mellow talk? Let me talk about Doc.
We gotta get into Doc. Actually, I love Melo, but we gotta get into Doc.